Right then guys, how's it going and welcome back to your Premier League predictions. It's been ages since the last video. We had the winter break, then we had the FA Cup weekend, so I won't even go into my scores from the last time because it was so long ago. But thank you to all of you guys who did get involved in the last video. I will put some of the comments on screen now. So again, thank you to everyone who takes part each week. Remember to get your predictions down in the comments below. We will be going through the midweek games. So that is tomorrow night, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. And then I'll probably be back on Friday to do the weekend's games as well. So there's no Premier League football for ages and then 2 games in a week. So let's get on with the predictions. Tomorrow night, starting off 7:45, we have got Newcastle taking on Everton. Newcastle, one of the teams who did not play in the FA Cup with this weekend, which means Tuesday night will be the first chance to see some of these new signings in action, which will be exciting, although I do not think it's going to be an easy game. Everton themselves have just brought in Frank Lampard, the new manager. They've brought in Dele Alli, they've brought in Van der Beek, and they won their FA Cup game at the weekend 4-1 against Brentford. So Lampard's got off to a good start. It's a pretty big game for both teams. Newcastle sitting in 19th place. Everton not that far ahead in 16th. Could you say that Everton... I do not think they are quite in the relegation mini-league just yet, but they aren't that far away. And if Newcastle were to win this game against Everton, it could well pull them in it. So Newcastle want to try and get out of there. Everton want to try and get even further away from there. And as a Newcastle fan, I've gone 1-0 Newcastle. I just wish that they could have just kept Rafa a little bit longer, because they obviously have not been doing well this season. And I just think regardless of whether you're a Lampard fan or not, new manager bounce is a real thing. So we will have to wait and see. Moving on again on the Tuesday, 7:45, we have got West Ham taking on Watford. So West Ham are officially no longer in the top 4, now sitting in 5th place. Still having a very good season. Form-wise, you can kind of see it on screen. Lost 2, won 2, lost 2, won 3, lost 2. So again, they can definitely win a game, but have been a bit all over the place. They won their FA Cup game at the weekend against Kidderminster, taking on a Watford side. Now we're talking about West Ham's form. Take a look at the Watford one. They have not won in the Premier League for some time now. But again, new manager bounce. Roy Hodgson is in there to try and save Watford from the drop. So can he do it? I think he's got his work out in this game. I'm going to go 1-0 West Ham. I think it's hard not to back them there, to be honest. And then the final game on the Tuesday night, we have got Burnley taking on Manchester United. So Burnley sitting in 20th place. Again, another team who has not won a Premier League game for some time now. Obviously, they brought in their new striker signing. Oh, God. Workhorse, the striker. Want to see what he can do for Burnley. I think it's a good signing. Obviously, again, Newcastle fan, we've signed Chris Wood from them. They had to go out. They had to spend the money. They had to do it in a smart way. And I think, obviously, you never know what's going to happen. And I think whether it's looked on as a good signing or not will be said at the end of the season as to whether he helps Burnley stay up or not. But for now, I think it's a good one. Taking on Manchester United, who are currently sat in 4th place. They're in the Champions League spots now. They obviously are very up and down with their form in the Premier League. They have won their last 2 Premier League games, but they did also lose on penalties against Middlesbrough. So again, that's what I mean. Like, where actually are they? Regardless, I've backed them to win 2-0. You know, Burnley haven't been great. But they are at home. They've got the new striker. Let's see what they can do. Moving on to the Wednesday now. Same time, 7:45. We've got Manchester City taking on Brentford. Again, we'll talk about league form. You're not getting too much more of an opposite with these two teams, to be honest. Manchester City pretty much winning every game until they drew their last one against Southampton, and then obviously Brentford haven't been too great. And speaking about the FA Cup, Brentford lost their game in the FA Cup, as I mentioned, against Everton. Man City won theirs against Fulham. Although Fulham did score an early goal, but it didn't last very long. I've backed Man City 3-0. Moving on, again on the Wednesday night, we've got Norwich taking on Crystal Palace. So Norwich now sitting in 17th place, outside of the relegation zone. They are making their attempt for an escape. They've won the last 2 Premier League games. They won their FA Cup game at the weekend against Wolves. Norwich are making a move here. They are doing better. Taking on a Crystal Palace side, who are another FA Cup winner from the weekend, beating Hartlepool, was it? And then in terms of Premier League form, I just see the same thing with Crystal Palace every time, and it's because nothing's changing. Like, it's just all over. Like, look, the form guide tells you what's going on, is that they win some, they lose some, they draw some, and I suppose that's why they're sitting 13th. They're mid-table. They're doing all right. They're not doing bad. They're all winning games, but they're losing them as well, so... and in terms of a prediction, again, as a Newcastle fan, I should say Crystal Palace, to be honest, but Norwich are doing all right. I've gone 1-1. I've gone for a draw there. Moving on, Spurs taking on Southampton. So Spurs sitting in 7th place. Again, I've spoken about them many a times under Conte, are doing way better until they lost their most recent Premier League game against Chelsea. But otherwise, have been doing really well. They beat Brighton in the FA Cup at the weekend, taking on Southampton, who again are another side who are doing very well. Again, I've just mentioned they drew against Man City in their last Premier League game, and they beat Coventry in their FA Cup game as well. So, I have gone Spurs 2-1. Next up again on the Wednesday, but at 8 o'clock, we have got Aston Villa taking on Leeds. Aston Villa sitting in 11th place. Steven Gerrard obviously coming in, doing a fantastic job, I think, of late. They haven't been as good. They've lost a couple of games, but obviously they've brought in a few new signings that need to adjust. I think just the fact that we get to see Coutinho in the Premier League again is just incredible, to be honest. And taking on a Leeds side who, again, sitting in 15th place, would have probably have been said that they were part of that relegation mini league as well, but another team who are making an escape for it because they hadn't been so good, but then getting a great win against both Burnley and West Ham in recent weeks has just propelled them in the right direction. Aston Villa are at home, and I'm gonna put it to them. I'm gonna go 2-1. I think it could well be a good game. I think Aston Villa have done very well in this January window, and I think if you thought they'd done all right beforehand, you could well see a little push out of them for the end of this season. So we'll have to wait and see. And finally, on the Thursday at 7:45, we have got Liverpool taking on Leicester. Liverpool sitting in 2nd place. They're 9 points behind Man City with 1 game in hand. So it's certainly closer than it was. I think Man City drawing against Southampton was a window for Liverpool here. Form-wise, they've been good, and obviously they've been doing that without their star players, Mane and Salah, both in the African Cup of Nations game. Mane, obviously the winner of the two, but both on their way back, and both may well feature in the game on Thursday. Taking on a Leicester side who are not doing so good, have lost the last 3 Premier League games in a row. They also lost against Nottingham Forest at the weekend in their FA Cup game. So I've backed Liverpool 2-1, actually. I think I'll definitely back the Liverpool win. It could be more. If Salah and Mane are back and are playing and not getting rested, we could see a few more goals in that one. I just don't know what's going on with Leicester at the minute. I think the whole thing's just got a bit sour from what I can tell. This didn't start the season too great, but I genuinely thought they would fix it, and it's just a bit all over. And then finishing off again Thursday night, we have got Wolves taking on Arsenal. So two teams with very similar form. Wolves in 8th, Arsenal in 6th. Arsenal form had been very good and then fell off slightly with a loss and a draw in the last few, whereas Wolves had lost and drawn a few and then have actually won their last 3 games in a row. but did lose against Norwich in the FA Cup. Anyone's guess this one? I've gone very boring. I've gone 1-0 Wolves there. I think the Arsenal one's interesting as well, because obviously they've let Aubameyang go to Barcelona, which by all means they've got someone off their books who was getting paid 350 grand a week to mope around. But who's going to score the goals now? So let me know your thoughts for the Wolves versus Arsenal game and all of the other games that I've gone through. As I say, the games are on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. If you are running late, maybe you're watching this Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, don't worry, feel free to get your predictions in for all the games that haven't been played yet. And as I say, I will be back on Friday to do the predictions for all of the weekend's Premier League games as well. But thank you all for watching. As always, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.